Hi, I'm Rob. I appreciate you watching my cooking video. I started this a few days ago. It was just an idea I had that I thought I'd like to do because I have a passion for food. When the home I grew up in, food was love, and as you can see from my very svelte demeanor, my mother loved me a great deal. And so as I watched her cook and loved what she did, I wanted to learn how to do that. And so I grew up with a passion for food, hence the Rob's Food Passion. And as I have grown to cook meals for others, I've been told however many times I should have my own cooking show. So one day I said, you know what, let's try it. So this is as close as I'm ever going to get. Food Network has never come knocking on my door. So I'm going to do it this way, and I'm hoping family and friends can tune in. I've been asked for recipes again and again and again, and so as that's happened, I've tried to write the recipes down, and it's just never really worked for me. I miss things. There's things I want to tell you about that I can't get into the recipe. I can't write it in a way that I can show. So here I'm going to show, and I think it'll work a lot better. So when you see why I'm doing something different, perhaps you can incorporate that into what you do, and it'll work for everybody. So my wife asked me to make brownies tonight, just off the cuff. We've had dinner, everything was done. I wasn't going to take this till another day, but my wife asked for brownies, and so we're going to make up some brownies, some real basic, simple brownies. I'll talk about some things you can do to enhance them if you choose to. But this is the Rob Nielsen Basic Brownie. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the butter, and by the way, I always use butter, and it's 1 cup of butter. I never use margarine. I refuse to use margarine because margarine is one molecule off of paint or plastic, and I'm not big on paint or plastic. I don't think it tastes good. I haven't eaten a lot of it, but I'm going to assume that it's probably not great stuff. So butter is very natural. I get to make my own sometimes. We have a dairy down the road that sells raw milk. I'm able to siphon the cream off the top of that and put the butter in my trusty dusty KitchenAid and whisk it until butter comes out. And it's fantastic. So if you get the opportunity to do that, if you ever have the opportunity to get raw milk and use unhomogenized, unpasteurized cream from the top to make your own butter, trust me, take the opportunity. This is store-bought. I'll cheat when I'm making some brownies quick for the family. So the recipe calls for 4 eggs, and that's where I always start. I get my eggs fresh. I have chickens in the backyard. They lay them for me. It's kind of handy. It's nice of them. I think it's kind that they're sharing. I share with them food, so they give me eggs. It's a good trade-off for us. So I do 4 eggs. Some of my eggs are small, some of my eggs are large. Some people write in their recipes 4 large eggs. If I ended up having 4 eggs that are small like that, I might go to a 5th. But generally speaking, 4 eggs is 4 eggs, and I get eggs that are sometimes really big. So I like to start by whipping my eggs, getting them incorporated so that everything emulsifies well. So I'm going to put on the KitchenAid. I just use my whisk mixer. If you don't have a KitchenAid, can you do this with a hand mixer, a hand blender? Absolutely. Can you do it by hand with a whisk? Yes. I have a whisk. Just that when I have a wife that's hungry for brownies, I like to get through it a little quicker. So I'm going to turn that up a little bit. And I'm going to whip the eggs like that. Now, Alton Brown, who I love, is a very knowledgeable man. And he likes to whip the eggs until they're frothy. I haven't seen a lot of use in it. It hasn't gotten me any better brownies or worse brownies. I've used his recipe. I've doctored it a little bit here, there, and everywhere. You know, just a personal preference thing that I just get them till they're mixed and I'm done. Now, I also went into my cupboard tonight and looked, and I don't have any spray. So we're going to go the old-fashioned way. We're going to use a paper towel. And my wife loves edges. Brownie edges are her thing. And so instead of cooking in a 9x13 pan, I have these nice little cute muffin tins. They're just a miniature muffin tin. And I'm going to oil each one of them individually so that they don't stick. And look at the edges. You want to use a big muffin tin? Fantastic. Knock yourself out. You want to use the 9x13 pan? Knock yourself out. Only difference is going to be bake times. They're going to bake at 350 degrees, just like everything else almost in the whole world bakes at 350 degrees. And these will probably take between 18 and 20 minutes. If I put them in a 9 by 13 pan, I'm usually 25, 28, even 30 minutes, just kind of depending on the temperature outside and some other variables. You will notice that I have measured out, and I'm going to tell you the measurements on everything I have on the counter. I usually don't measure, so if you catch me not measuring and you see that in my video, leave a comment at the bottom of YouTube or on the website or on Facebook. I'll be happy to get you the measurement. It's just something that I've grown accustomed to not doing because I can look at a cup of sugar and see that it is a cup of sugar, and I'm done. So, got those done. I'm just waiting for my butter to melt, and I don't want to burn it. So you'll notice I'm going back a couple of different times until I have melted butter. There we go. I don't want it boiling over, spilling over. It gets really messy. So, favorite thing about brownies, quite frankly, is you throw it in a bowl, you mix it, you're done. I mean, it's a really quick, easy process. Hardest part, honestly, is getting this all out. Have one of my sons help me. They run around, they're small, they're young, they're fast. I love that. I do a few things a little different with my brownies than other people. And I can tell you how to do them. It's not a big deal. There's just some changes that I like. You want to incorporate them? Fantastic. This is the sugar. There's 2 cups of it. There is 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. I like brown sugar in the brownie. It's a little more chewy, and we like chewy brownies. So I'm going to put the sugar in with the eggs, and I'm going to give that a quick mix. And during these videos, you're going to hear kids talk. You're going to hear dogs bark. You're going to hear ovens beep. I really kind of wanted to do these in a way that was approachable. Look, I'm not, like I said, a Food Network star. And these trained chefs, they have incredible knife skills. They have classical training in cooking. I've got none of that. I cook like you cook. I have a lot of experience at it because I've cooked for now, since I was 12, what's that? We aren't going to talk about the number there. A long time. And I have things I specialize in. And I have things I don't do so well, and over time you'll learn what those are because you'll watch me fail at them. And I'll try them because I'm adventurous like that. I like to try new things. So, but when the dog barks, it's just going to be how it is. When a kid runs screaming through the kitchen, when I have a child or my wife or someone helping me chop stuff up, you'll kind of see how that goes too. So, eggs and sugar are in place. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of the butter and the cocoa. That is 1/2 cup of good old-fashioned Dutch baking cocoa. I don't really know why they call it Dutch, but they do, so I'm going to give them the credit for being Dutch. I'm going to turn that on a minute. Now, from a sound standpoint, this is horrible, because you got the mixer going, but I kind of got to let it mix. So I'm going to add the rest of the butter. And I'm going to get the flour in. Nice and easy. Not going to just dump it because I don't want to wear it. In fact, I'm going to turn my mixer down just a little bit. Okay, that's mostly incorporated. And I say mostly, there's a couple more things that have to go in. A couple of tips to good cooking. And generally, it's kind of an overall rule. Rule number 1. There's more than one setting on the stove than high. High is not the only setting. Sometimes I cook at 8, even 6, even 3. So depending on what we're doing, there may be some changes to that. And funny enough, the mixer also has multiple settings. It doesn't just have high, otherwise we'd all wear that. Now, this is vanilla. And I know it's in a different bottle, and I know it's like this. That isn't because I didn't want to show you the cool stuff I have from the store. It's because I really don't like the stuff from the store. Went down to the ABC store here in South Carolina, and I have a quart of vodka, and I bought 10 vanilla beans off of a website called beanilla.com. That is a bean, like a lima bean, nilla.com. And really inexpensive, very, very, very fast shipping. They were nice when they got here. They aren't dried up and wrinkly and like you get them in the jar in the grocery store. No, these were fresh, really nice. So I split the beans, long way, and then I took the jar of vodka, stuck the beans down in there, scraped all the little seeds in there, and I've been letting it sit in my cupboard for about the last 3 or 4 months. Really does a nice job, and I promise you it's what's in the store. There's alcohol and vanilla beans. Until you use homemade vanilla, versus any other type, you won't know. Same thing with black pepper. I fresh grind my own black pepper. It's a whole world of difference. If you haven't tried it, you got to. You will see the inside of my cupboards. Don't pay attention, they're messy. Okay, so I'm going to just mix in the vanilla and the salt. And I have a batter. So I'm going to pop this off of here. I'm going to pull the whisk out, set it aside, and I am going to just kind of scrape the bowl real quick with the spatula to make sure I get all the flour off the side and give it a quick stir, because there's always those little remnants. Unless you're using a hand mixer, and then you've probably got no remnants because you've been able to get to the sides. So that's all done. Now, I said simple brownie batter, and this really is. Guys, this will make great brownies. Here's the deal. You want it a little darker? Add more cocoa. If you want to add chocolate chips to it, nuts to it, hey, have a great time. It's your brownies, not mine. I don't have to eat them. In this case, I'm just trying to make something simple for the wife to make her happy, and a glass of milk, and off we go to bed. So, my favorite brownie recipe of all time, and I'm going to walk off camera and get stuff when I need to. My favorite brownie recipe of all time is really kind of good, and you may have seen it on the internet. I'm pretty sure that's where I found it. And that is a recipe on a 9x13 pan. They take an entire package of Oreos and they lay them out flat in the bottom of the pan after spraying it. And then they open a bag of caramels and they unwrap those caramels individually and they set them in the corners where the Oreos meet. Then they pour the brownie batter over the top of it and you bake it. And it is the most decadent, ridiculously rich, gooey, happy moment. It does take about an extra 10 minutes to bake because of the thickness of the product. So I like to use a little ice cream scoop, dessert scoop, call it what you will. Obviously, this is not the size of an ice cream scoop for any normal human being. It's the ice cream scoop of a 1-year-old because you don't want to sugar them up too much. And I obviously will be able to make probably these 2 pans and another pan in bigger muffin tins. But for purposes of the video, clearly this ought to get the job done. So I would tell you to play with it. Add some chocolate chips, add some nuts, wait till there's 3 minutes left and then chuck a bunch of marshmallows on top of these. There are 1,000 ways to enhance brownies. I have gone so far as to go down to my local tienda or Mexican store, buy Mexican vanilla, and add a little bit of cayenne pepper and use the Mexican vanilla, and also buy some of that hard brown sugar they sell. I can't remember what they call it right now. But use that sugar, and it gives them an entirely different flavor, an entirely different texture. The spiciness of the cayenne will bring out a little extra chocolatiness, I guess. So there you go. You heard the oven beep a few minutes ago when I was stirring. So I'm going to put these right in here, and once they're in, we're going to let them go about 15 minutes, and we'll come back and check them. So what I'm going to do is have Paul turn off the camera, and I'm going to do the batter and kind of clean up a little bit, and we'll come right back. So turn it off. Okay, we are ready to pull them. They smell done. It's a funny thing, it's a long-standing joke in our house here, excuse me, that I don't have to set a timer often for baked goods. My nose is my timer. I smell them, they're done, I know when it happens. So these went a total of 15 minutes, and then I checked them, and I've let them go a couple of more. And they are just about perfect. So, yep, I have a little hot pad out for them. You can see they've just risen up. There was some extra room in the pan, obviously. They kind of filled out, and then they've risen up to the top and then come right up over. And I like to let them cool for 3 or 4 minutes normally. If you try and get them out now, they're going to be really hot. They're going to crumble. They're going to fall apart. It's not going to be pretty. These aren't going to last long in our house. They're pretty much 1 to 2 bite size, and we have a whole lot of us, so they're not going to last long. I will probably take them because they are how they are and tip them out onto a plate, and then they're going to just disappear. We won't need 2 plates, I'll promise you that. So I appreciate you watching. Appreciate your time. We'll be doing some more of these. We'll do everything from Thanksgiving turkey to tomorrow. I'm going to do a birthday cake for a friend, and it's going to be my mom's recipe for Texas sheet cake. And hopefully we'll learn together, because if there's a recipe you want to learn how to do and I don't know how to do it or have never done it, I'm happy to learn how to do it and then show you what I've learned. So hopefully it'll be a learning experience for everybody, and hope you enjoy as you get to eat what I've learned to love and grow up and become passionate about. Thanks for your time.